This is only the second time that something like this happens, that a warning like this is given out. First one was in December last year when a 7.5 quake hit. And now 10 times the chances that a megaquake could happen are 10 times larger right now. So what is going on? Okay, Japanese government urges preparedness because they say within the next week we could see a megaquake, mega thrust earthquake, like a big one like we've seen in 2011, magnitude 9 plus. And they're not only saying that, this is a little bit unusual. I mean, they often give out the warnings after a larger quake that something bigger could happen, but this is different this time. So also, in Japan, we hear the quake has been a 7.7, initially a 7.9. USGS has it as a 7.5. So headlines we're getting out of Japan, they're warning of a potential mega quake after the magnitude 7.7 quake has struck. And this has been issued by Japanese officials. So the 7.7 happened on April 20th, and now they say over the next week we could see a mega quake. And guys, this has happened in the past in the same zone, in this same area, the Tohoku earthquake in 2011 with the devastating tsunami, and we all still remember Fukushima. So they say, guys, people are prepared for another seismic event. And we're seeing aftershocks right now. You see it in the list behind me. But the subsequent earthquake advisory that has been issued right now is a little bit concerning. So shortly after 5 p.m., we had that strong earthquake off the coast of Sanriku. Tsunami waves were happening, measuring anything from like 10 centimeters up to like 80 centimeters, full step. So this is like 3 feet. And they were recorded in areas of the Hokkaido and Tohoku regions. Tsunami warning and advisory were quickly issued. Later, thankfully, then were canceled, so nothing worse did happen. But the Japanese Meteorological Agency and the Cabinet Office held a news conference, and the agency issued an off the coast of Hokkaido and Sanriku subsequent earthquake advisory. And under this advisory, and this is huge, 182 municipalities are urged to take disaster preparedness measures. So this is the second time that they have issued such an advisory after 2011. Japan Meteorological Agency says people should be aware of the increased possibility of a mega quake along the Japan Trench and the Tsushima Trench. It's urging the public to stay prepared. We'll get to the trenches in a second. So in both areas, we have this enlarged risk. Tsushima Trench and the Japan Trench. The Japan Trench runs off northeast Honjo, and the Tsushima Trench is the continuation of that farther north of Hokkaido and the Kuril Islands. Together, they mark a major subduction zone where the Pacific Plate is diving beneath Japan's northeast margin. Subduction zones are the dangerous ones that can produce these magnitude 8 plus or 9 plus mega thrust earthquakes. But the key difference is the location. The Japan Trench is the section that is tied to Tohoku and Sanriku, where we had the epicenter of the recent earthquake, and the Tsushima Trench is the northern section that is tied to the Hokkaido and the Kuril Arc. So both trenches are extremely dangerous because they can generate these very large megathrust earthquakes and tsunamis. So think of them as two connected parts of the same violent Pacific Plate boundary, Pacific Ring of Fire. So what do they want people to do? People are advised to check information regarding evacuation shelters, transportation routes, prepare emergency bags, secure furniture to prevent it from falling down if a big quake hits, as well as stockpile essential items such as food, water, portable toilets, and sufficient basis other items. So Right now, the officials don't say people need to evacuate, but they say this advisory is expected to last 1 week. And I want to make this clear. A mega quake, magnitude 8 plus, the possibility that this can happen in the next week is 10 times higher than usual in this area within this week. And the government's earthquake research committee has been analyzing the possibility of a massive earthquake that could occur along the Tsushima Trench and the Japan Trench in the near future. And what they're saying is a little bit crazy because the chance is 90%, a 90% chance of this occurring off the coast of Nemuro within the next 30 years. This is huge. So this is basically almost saying it's going to happen within the next 30 years. And I want to make that clear, not in 30 years, within 30 years. That could also be tomorrow, in a year, in 2 years, in a week, in 15 years. You know what I want to say. So, of course, if we convert the probability of an occurrence within a week, it's usually about 0.1%. But since we had that big earthquake right now, right? That chance is a little bit enlarged, 10 times higher for the next week. But according to the Japanese agencies, there's 1,529 large-scale earthquakes with a magnitude 7 or higher that have been confirmed around the world between 1904 and 2021. That's quite many, right? So they're saying there have been 19 cases in which a massive earthquake with a magnitude 8 or higher occurred within a week and within 500 kilometers, like 350 miles of the area after these quakes. So based on these statistics, they have determined the probability of this scenario occurring is about 1%. Or about 10 times higher than usual, and it has happened in 2011. So they want everyone to stay prepared over the next week. And I want to quote a professor, Sekaya Naoya of the Graduate School of the University of Tokyo. He's an expert on disaster information. He is urging people in areas that are under the issued subsequent earthquake advisory to really stay prepared for the possibility of another major quake. And you see the list of all the communities while I speak. He says the advisory was created based on lessons from the Great East Japan earthquake in 2011. That disaster occurred 2 days after a magnitude 7.3 quake had hit the same region. So he says the advisory aims to warn people that they should be prepared to protect themselves from jolts and tsunami waves should a megaquake strike again. So he says people in the areas that are under an issued advisory should at least review evacuation sites and evacuation routes, as well as how to contact their family members. And he says that some people went to pick up family members out of concern and then were caught in the tsunami in 2011 after the earthquake. So they ran into the danger zone. So he says each family should decide on a communication method, a meeting place, and other details in advance. And guys, I think this should not only happen in Japan, this should happen on the west coast of Canada, of the US, you know, where we have the Cascadia earthquake as a looming threat over us, magnitude 9+, right? So all these warnings are valid for us that live along the Cascadia zone as well. And this is interesting. What the particulars say is that each those who have recently started like a new school or a new job or have moved are not used to their environment to check what evacuation measures to take in case of a major quake or where the evacuation routes are. So we already had an advisory like this. The first one was issued December last year after we had a magnitude 7.5 earthquake that struck off the eastern coast of the Aomori prefecture. And the interesting thing is that professor's research group has surveyed residents in these areas on what actions they took following this advisory, and that was not really great. They found that only 7.2% reviewed evacuation site and routes, and that 11.4% confirmed communication methods in advance with their family members. So not many people were doing it. Quite surprising after 2011, I have to say. So the professor says that the advisory is not designed to predict a mega quake, but to raise awareness of the increased possibility of one, right? So they're telling people stay calm, but verify the information. So we will have to wait and see, I guess. I hope you found this interesting. If you want to see what happened in Japan, check my Japan earthquake playlist. If you want to support the channel, link is in the description. You can fill me up with coffee. Click the join button to become a supporting member of the channel, and you get behind the scene videos of me. And thank you for doing that, I have to say, and for the supers that you keep sending me here. Guys, you're awesome. Thanks for the support. Please like, hype the video, share it with your friends, and click here. Then I see you in a second.